Well, that was anticlimactic.
Hello, YouTube. Hi. Welcome back to the Short Code Podcast, the thing we put on YouTube every week. I am happy to be here with Corey Christensen. I'm happy to be here with Casey McCleary.
Aww.
Well, I gotta forget somebody's name every week. I'm happy to be here with Dylan Todd, and I'm happy to be here with Lisa Weir. Hi.
Hey.
You guys, I recently witnessed something just kind of vaguely disturbing, and I wanted to share it with you and see what you guys thought. I was in the administrative offices, and a student came in to ask what the options were when they were summoned to jury duty. And at some point, after the student was told, what they needed to do to let their professors know and all this kind of stuff, the person he was having this conversation with told him that the court was really seeking a jury of their peers. And so since medical students were so socially high, this was the gesture, the student was unlikely to be selected. And at first I was surprised, but I later thought about it. And so that might be true in terms of what a prosecutor wants. Maybe they just don't want,
They don't want anybody who's going to think too much about it.
They don't want thinkers, because
that's terrible.
Well, that's kind of
sad.
I could see it.
Possibly true.
But how do I know? But I'm still kind of disturbed at the message maybe accidentally given by that, true or not. So, and most doctors I meet are great, humble people. So this is where I get confused. Some are just they just seem to occupy a rather lofty position in their own heads, and so I'm wondering, do you guys think do you guys feel like peers?
Peers of each other?
Of anybody, of the world, in the sense of jury of your peers. Do you feel so?
Well, I still feel human, so that's good. But I will say, I can't speak to the social status part because I haven't experienced that. But I have experienced,
You may haven't experienced social status.
yeah. As far as feeling different than the general population, just with the little training I've had so far, I think that exists because definitely, being in an anatomy lab and seeing all sorts of gross stuff in clinic, that kind of stuff kind of changes you a little bit. But I don't think whether or not that would make you ineligible to be a peer, probably not. But I definitely think there's a little bit of a disconnect between, being a layperson and being someone who's in medical training.
But I think it's a problem. It's a problem if we can't connect with lay people or whatever, because that's most of who we're going to be treating. I mean, I think we need to think of ourselves on a similar level to them, even if I feel like I don't necessarily have as much in common with people who are not as well educated, but some of that is self-selecting. I didn't have as much in common with those people in high school either. Even when we had the same level of education, I had different interests. So I mean, I think there might be some personality difference self-selecting me into this really intense highly educated field, but at the same time, I don't know, I think it's a problem if we don't feel like we can relate to those most people regardless of educational status.
I'm not saying that I can't relate to people. It's just something in the back of your mind that you just kind of feel a little bit, it's kind of like there's an internet meme. And it's this kid with some type of band instrument, and then the caption is a Vietnam War vet's feelings, and it's just like
so it's the sousaphone kid.
In Nam we I saw endless nightmare, and it's just kind of the thing that makes the meme funny is the juxtaposition of this this really bad high school yearbook photo, and then this very dark thing that you've seen. And so I think it feels a little bit like that, where your everyday life is kind of normal and you're just like everyone else, but at the same time, you may have seen someone die of a heart attack in the clinic, or you may have done things that are particularly gruesome. I mean, not or graphic.
Seen things, hopefully not done things.
seen or done. I mean, if you're in
I
a
guess you're doing
surgery,
you're a
is
surgery and
horrifying.
you're,
Yeah.
Anything in anatomy.
yeah, holding someone's
So you
intestine.
think about
yeah.
some of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten bone dust in my mouth before. That was kind of
Oh,
gross.
God.
So
You're
anyway,
not supposed to breathe that in.
I know. No one told me.
How do
You
you
couldn't infer it.
do you think it's necessary to sort of be on your guard against, or do you think that, I mean, that sort of assumes that you acquire this attitude that if you become one of these people who feels that they're above everything else and all that kind of stuff, do you have to guard against that, and does that imply that it's acquired at some point, or did you already have it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's more of the idea that you can't unsee something or you can't unexperience something.
But I think
You can control your
yeah.
attitude, but
I think there's a difference though in saying, like, I have been changed by experiences in med school, which
Yeah.
I'm sure like minimally changed compared to what's to come. But there's a difference between that and between thinking that like I am better than
Right,
another
right,
person
exactly.
because I am a doctor.
Yeah.
Which I do think is sometimes like it happens, not just in the medical profession, but in academia in general, maybe.
Yeah.
And I
Sort of
so I
the
was,
ivory tower
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I had this discussion with Dave earlier today.
Yes.
About how this. So I'm from a small town in Iowa that is about an hour south of here. So in terms of like proximity to the university, it is convenient for people at the university who want to do research in a rural area. We are their guinea pigs because we're just far enough away that we're rural, but we're close enough that they don't really have to put a lot of effort into getting to us.
I love that.
I mean, this is true. So in my home county, there are a lot of health research projects that go on, public health, regular health, that kind of stuff. And so I grew up not really like I always knew it was there. I didn't really think about it, because I never saw the other side of it. I was like, yeah, whatever. They come and they poke and prod at us and they take my blood sometimes and they,
oh my god.
I grew up on a farm. So I grew up on a farm. So we were in
It
this.
sounds like a town that frequently experiences like alien abductions.
This is like a Twilight Zone.
The gray men come to our town and they stick needles in grandma, and then grandma comes back 3 days later.
Everybody
It's
moved
okay,
there.
I guess. It's terrible. I mean, I got paid for them to take my blood.
Oh, that makes sense.
And do some allergy testing, and I didn't really think anything of it until I came here and I was in the public health program. And one of my professors was in part of this study, and so they would occasionally we would talk about professors' research in class, and I never really thought about it until one of my professors started talking about her research project in my hometown, and she didn't know it was my hometown. And so she started talking about, we were talking about community-based participatory research, which is where instead of you going to a town and saying, this is what we want to do, it's you go and ask, like, what do you think the problem is? And then you design an intervention based on what they think is important. And she was talking about how they really wanted to do an obesity research project because there's a huge obesity problem there, which I'll be honest, I didn't realize at the time because I was like, these are just people, like they're the people I grew up with, they're the people I know, and so she was like, oh, they have such a huge obesity problem in Keika County and they wanted to do obesity. She's like, but the town was very, very concerned about a kid who died in a drunk driving accident like a couple months before, and so they wanted to do an alcohol intervention, and so we obliged them and we did an alcohol intervention for them, even though the real problem is obesity. Like this is how it came off, not exactly like this, but this is how it came off. And the truth of the matter was, like, people died in drunk driving accidents a lot. Like high school kids died in, so it was not a one-time deal. It was a problem, but she thought that our real problem was obesity. And it was like, we did community-based participatory research. We were, but it was like, we followed the letter of community-based participatory research, but not the spirit of it, so that I got a little miffed and might have said some stuff that didn't go off so well,
I don't think she was asking for it.
And another time we were talking about another one of her projects where she actually got to study obesity in my hometown, and she was talking about a focus group that she'd had with some people who worked at the school, and just kind of the way she talked about them, and their misguided notions of what was healthy and stuff, and kind of talking down about them. And I was like, these are my teachers and the people from my hometown. Like, these are people. These are not your research subjects. These are real life people, and just thinking that, like, it just came off as like we're so much better than them because we are enlightened and we know what health is and we know that you have an obesity problem and you don't know that, you know. And so
fatties and alkies.
Exactly. And so I really try to make a conscious effort. You know, sometimes it's frustrating because I go home and I don't always feel like I fit in. I was telling Dave I am the odd vegetarian that grew up on a farm that raises lots of meat animals, and you know, I was the girl who did music, and I didn't.
There's certainly no correlation there.
Not at all.
Conflict of interest.
You know, so like I don't necessarily fit into that place, but at the same time, the people back there, they're people. They're like me. Like I can't fix a tractor. And that's not a euphemism. Like I can't fix a real tractor, but it's important.
I'm gonna use that.
Like
don't explain it.
We need people to make food to feed us. You know, we need people who know how to fix tractors. I hopefully someday can fix a human. Like we need that too. Can't fix one now, but that's to be determined. You know, so I don't know. So I make a real effort. Like these are the people who raised me. I owe where I am today to them. Like.
You owe it to them to backsass that teacher who is being condescending.
I did, and I did.
Did you tell them? Did you tell them?
I got kind of a bad grade in that class. I mean, I passed, but it was kind of whatever. I probably would have done better if I had.
Whatever. Who cares about
rebellious?
It just kind of bothered me.
Yeah. What if someday though, you're honored by some award, okay, and the award means that a painting or a plaque will be put in your institution or your place of wherever you end up. How are you going to keep your head in that situation? Like I feel
by launching a record label, duh.
I don't know. Like I always one of the things I always wanted to do is to make a fake bust or painting of myself and like put it in the med school, not announce it, just to hang it up somewhere and see how long it takes for people to notice.
Yeah.
Do
Please
that. Let's
do
make
that.
a Dave award.
Just to see how long it takes for people to go, who the hell is that?
If you'll pay, I know someone who can paint.
Sweet. All right, this is a plan.
But yeah, no, I mean,
you know what, Dave? Actually, this is only semi-related to this topic, but I was talking to Matt last night, and we were talking about you and Jason, and we were talking about how like what wonderful assets you guys are to the College of Medicine. For real.
No, it's true.
we were thinking that a lot of times it kind of comes off like you guys are the token humanities guys that they can flaunt, and they're like,
or
hey,
a human
look,
junk drawer.
hey, look, we've got humanities. We're so important. We're such a great College of Medicine. But in all reality, like, I don't know that they always appreciate what you do. Like, come on, you've got this thriving podcast that, like, we're on YouTube now, so we're totally wonderful.
So legit.
You know? And I don't know that people will recognize that enough.
Thank
so,
you.
There you go.
That's very nice. Well, you know what? On that note, thank you for...
What episode is it?
Oh, by the way, go to
guys.
theshortcoat.com to listen to our weekly audio podcast. Great for the gym. Great for great for listening in class. But I would like to point out that it's our 100th episode over there, and we had this huge celebration where we did absolutely nothing, didn't even acknowledge it. So anyway,
because we're so humble.
Because we are very humble people.
We just listen to ourselves talk for an hour at a time.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you in a week.